good morning. I'm a senior partner of Biogerontology Ventures, this Hong Kong-based investment fund. We are focusing on artificial intelligence and anti-aging, and especially how through breakthroughs in machine learning, deep learning, and artificial intelligence to achieve real breakthroughs and practical results in anti-aging. I'm confident that aging is the ultimate evil. That's why, from my personal point of view, the best way for the most effective altruism is to invest into companies which have practical applications in anti-aging field, and at the same time to donate to advanced anti-aging think tanks. So that's why we support Biogerontology Research Foundation, Oxford-based anti-aging think tank. And now I want to introduce Avi Roy, the new president of BGRF. I'm sure that under his management, the BGRF will achieve really new breakthrough results in this area.
Thanks, Dmitry. I bet you didn't know you're getting a 2 for 1. Yeah, thanks, Dmitry. No pressure. I recently joined the Biogerontology Research Foundation to reduce existential risk for about 50 million people over the next 12 months, just short-term existential risk. He showed up immediately. This is what risk looks like. And you don't have to be a scientist to see what Dmitry was talking about, why aging is a problem. It seems that aging seems to be a key marker for cancer, heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's. You don't seem to have much of this when you're young. This data is from UK, and if you go to most of these conferences, you'll see data from US and other European countries. They look almost identical. With Dmitry's help, and we are fortunate to have him because we can concentrate on most of the world now, which is 85% of the population would live outside of North America and Europe. And nobody's actually looking at that, and they have the same risk profile if you eliminate smoking and drinking and public health issues. This would be the exact profile that all humans on the planet would have. Dmitry's organization is collaborating with IBM Watson, and they're looking at oncology right now. So that's going really well. But our BGRF here is concentrating on projects so that we can build the infrastructure, an open source infrastructure, so that everybody can build companies, technologies, therapies, so that we can get this stuff done faster. And when I was doing my DPhil, I realized that's the bottleneck. Like Gregory, I realized that doing a DPhil is not going to solve anything, especially since I'm a shit scientist. So that was a bad choice. So trying to build this infrastructure, especially with Dmitry and other people who want to help us, is the way to go. This is a 20-year-old brain. This is one of our projects. I'm going to quickly show you 3 projects. This is an 80-year-old brain. If you open up a skull of an 80-year-old, an average 80-year-old, you'll have about an inch, and whatever that means in centimeters, gap. And that's atrophy of the brain. Now, everybody here knows what is good for you, nutritionally, lifestyle-wise, but do you know, I mean, even the basic as to what happens to your structure and function, the name being anatomy and physiology? Because nobody does. That, we don't have a catalog, a Google map of what happens. We don't have a 30-year-old, 40-year-old, 50-year-old. We just have endpoint, and we have interventions with no evidence. And with the Human Genome Project, it's as if, think about it from a Google Maps point of view. We're zooming in directly to the street view, but you can't ever zoom out. Like, we don't know what happens to anatomy or structure and function during time. So what happens to your body over time? So if you go into a clinic, and a healthy 40-year-old goes into a clinic, we have no idea what health means. So we're trying to build the human temporal map, scan about 5,000 people from 10 to 100-year-old, and build this map. So you have a male, an average male, and you drag the slider underneath from 10 to 100, and you see how the physiology changes, the anatomy and physiology changes. Then we can talk about interventions. And so that's the human temporal map. Really simple. In 2015, we should have that. I mean, Leonardo was opening up in cadavers like 500 years ago. We are looking at, this is the state of drug discovery. You have 10,000 compounds. 7 years later, you have whittled it down to 250, and maybe one of them over the 10-year period and spending $2 billion will make it to clinic with massive or shitload of side effects. We are trying to find what the bottlenecks are. Sometimes the bottlenecks are reagents are too expensive. Sometimes the bottlenecks are a single policy needs to be changed. And that's what we're trying to do, is to find the bottlenecks, show it to investors, startup people, so that they know what to invest in and how to do it. And one last thing. I don't know how many people recognize this guy, Biogerontology. So he drank his own Kool-Aid. In his case, it was full of bacteria, and showed that ulcers are caused by bacteria. Nobody wanted to believe him, so he drank it. I'm summarizing here. We like him. We thought, why don't we do this? All scientists used to self-experiment and actually publicize. So we combine those two. Scientist self-experimentation and actually writing about it. And we are launching the journal, the first journal of self-experimentation. The papers that I've written, I take those pills and I want to write about them as to all of the problems they're causing, or not. And this would be a great, great thing. And with the advent of anonymization and peer review, this will be a peer-reviewed, and for those who want it, anonymized journal. Finally, if you want to learn about all of this stuff, we have Longevity Reporter, where we'll talk about these projects because they're not on the BGRF main site right now, and keep up to date with what's happening in this field. So, thanks to Dmitry, we have finance, but what he doesn't realize is I have very limited skill set. You didn't hear that. So, anybody here who would like to build the Google Maps of human, the temporal map of human, or any of these projects that we saw, or anything that you have to reduce the EA, the existential risks for 50 to 60 million humans over the next 12 months, come and talk to me, or Dmitry, or my colleagues, and hopefully we can get this done.
All right, well, thanks so much to all of our speakers. That was